What I would suggest that people look at is that you have to look at the overall picture of things when it comes to investing. Okay. You have the short-term picture. You have the short-term things going on. I potentially think this can go down some more, but this is Facebook user growth worldwide right now. If you take a look at it, everything is pretty much going on. Hello everyone, my name is Kaseem. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about Facebook. I'm going to lay down my case for why Facebook is currently a buy and why I'm buying the stock in my stock portfolio. So before we get into the videos, you guys know if you're new to the channel, you might not know, but I do run my own portfolio where I manage my own portfolio and I talk about it on this channel. I do different things. The goal of me managing my portfolio is to grow the stock, to grow my portfolio to $1 million as soon as possible. So that's the goal of just me running my portfolio. I challenge myself to get to $1 million, and the quickest way I can get there that I think makes sense for me right now is to invest in the stock market, invest in companies, lots of companies, and pick the best ones and trying to grow my money over time. So in this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick run through why Facebook is a buy right now. Because as we all know, the Facebook stock has currently been beaten down badly. If you guys don't know, this is current Facebook stock price. Facebook stock was $380 and is currently $328. So at the moment, this is where we are currently sitting at right now, and this chart that we're looking at, it's 1 day, so each candle is a full trading day. And what I'm trying to do is I basically see two levels for Facebook at this point where it's at right now, which is $321, and there could be a chance that it will fall further depending on what's going on in the news to maybe about where it used to be previously, which was $245 roughly. Either ways, I'm a buyer of Facebook at this point. I've been looking for opportunity to be able to get into Facebook for a long time now. I should have invested in Facebook a long time ago, but I really wasn't really into investment. And the past year and a half, I've just been trying to build up the dividend side of my portfolio. And right now I'm working on the growth side of the portfolio, because if you guys don't know, on this channel, I do run my own investment portfolio where I, pick out, best companies to invest in, and I talk about them in more details when I do my dividend update videos. But today's video is going to be about Facebook. Okay, this is my case for Facebook. There's been some few things going on in the news. There's been some few things going on in the news about Facebook. If you follow me already, you know I talked about this in my last dividend update. So there's been some few things going on. This lady, she used to work for Facebook back in a while ago. She used to work for Facebook, and basically she took a bunch of documents and she decided to share it with the world, share it with the Wall Street Journal. They did this article on them. This is basically where everything started, right? This lady, she basically blew the whistle on Facebook, saying that Instagram is very toxic for young ladies. And 1 in 5 young ladies, they say that it makes them feel somehow like it's not good for their development or whatnot. But you cannot say that Instagram is the problem. You're the one that you choose to be on this platform. If it's bad for your health, log off it, delete the app. If you're their parents, because these are teenagers, if you're their parents trying to take the app away, do whatever you can so you can have peace of mind. But as an investor, because I always trying to approach things from an investor point of view, because that's who I am. This news is probably just another thing that's gonna happen. Okay, it's probably just another thing that's gonna happen. It's gonna come, it's gonna pass, and I think that over time, Facebook stock will bounce back. It will inevitably bounce back to where it used to be before. If it goes down, let's say it goes down from where it's at right now. If it goes down to roughly around this area right here, well, that's okay. If it goes down right here, that's fine. I'll be able to jump in and grab a lot more at this point. But at the moment, this is where we're at. It has dropped pretty significantly just because of this one news. The stock has dropped a lot. But as an investor, what I would suggest that people look at is that you have to look at the overall picture of things when it comes to investing. Okay, you have the short-term picture. You have the short-term things going on, which the short-term things can be like things in the news. It can be politics. It can be, scandals, like what's going on right now with this whole thing with Facebook. In Facebook world, this is a huge PR nightmare. This is a scandal about internal research that's got put out there, and people, this is going to be in the news. Is all over Facebook news. This lady is going to testify everywhere in the world. They're going to make a lot of noise about Facebook. It's going to temporarily affect the stock as we've seen the first round. I potentially think this can go down some more, but as it's going down, I'll be buying roughly maybe $100, $150 as it's going down. Every time it goes down significantly, I'll add a little bit more. And, because if you look at the metrics that matter for investors, for example, if we take a look at Hyperchart here, I love Hyperchart. Shout out to Gali. If we take a look at Hyperchart here and we look at their user growth, this is Facebook user growth worldwide right now. If you take a look at it, everything is pretty much going up. US and Canada is in blue. You guys can see at the top here. They've grown their user base. Total look at the total 1.845 billion people. It's a lot of people on this planet that use Facebook. And it keeps on growing. Okay, if we look at the monthly active users, this is data from this is information from Facebook that they're giving to the investors, us the investors. Look at the monthly active users. The users are growing. Now, if you start looking at their revenue and the areas that they're making their revenue from, you can see that they make a bulk of their money from the US and Canada. Europe is a little bit, then followed by Asia, then the rest of the world. Now, the rest of the world is bigger than all of this. When you're talking about the Pacific countries, talking about Africa, and a huge part of Africa is not even online yet. So if I take a look at this data here, everything is looking right where investors should have their eyes on. Everything is looking great. Everything is looking great. If you also go down, look at their revenue here. They break it down by, advertising and payments / order. You see, they make huge amount of money from advertising. They made $85.966 billion in 2020. So, in 2020, I think this is an annual. Yeah, this is an annual. This annual numbers, and they made a lot of money. They made a lot of money in 2020, almost $86 billion that the company made. So this is a very solid company that I'm going to be adding to my portfolio. If you look at the revenue and operating income, that everything is looking great for the company. It's going up. The net income, their overall profit, over 30 billion, almost 30 billion in net income in 2020. All the numbers are looking great. Everything is looking great when it comes to what I think investors should be looking at. So for me, Facebook being at this price point is a great entry. I've been looking for when to enter Facebook for a long time. If I was able to have been entering here, it would have been great. But I'm hoping it drops down some more to around this area right here, and we can be grabbing a lot more. If it drops here, I'll be buying every day. Dollar cost averaging into Facebook every day. But for now, this is where we're at, and I'm buying Facebook stock on a regular basis. Let's take a look at other things, right? Because I want to point out a few things that investors should consider before putting Facebook to the side. We'll see that they have all this much people on their platform. What I said earlier in terms of things that hits different companies is some of them are temporary, right? Like I said, like all these things that's going on with the Facebook whistleblower, it would be all over. It would be all over the news as expected. All that stuff, it would be all over CNBC. It would be political. It would be politicized. This is basically all considered scandals. You know, if you look on YouTube, for example, so if you just search YouTube here, we can see that this topic is getting a lot of views. You know, this one got 1,000, over almost 2,000 views. This one got 11K views. This one got 112. You know, this one got 4.4 million, over 100,000 views. So all these things will just get politicized, and it would basically drag down the stock. But I believe that is just a temporary thing. I think it's very, very temporary, and over time, the stock will bounce back. That's just my personal belief. So the other thing that I also like to look at, we're gonna get into that. I just like to look at other things that is going on in the world when it comes to my investments, what other people are doing. And I have this website that I use. Let me share this website with you guys. So I have this website that I use. It's called Quiver Quant. I'll leave the link right under this video. So the other part that the other information source that I like, because I like to gather information from different places and try to evaluate them and see if it makes sense for me, based on me looking at information here, based on me looking at the charts, seeing where the stock is versus where it should be. Looking at hyper chart, we can see what the numbers are, we can see the trajectory, we can see that for the most part, this news coming out for Facebook, it should be relatively temporary. So the last but not least, the other things that I want to talk about is that if you're looking at a company to buy, there's other things that is very important to look at. You know, you need to look at like the long-term projection for the company. This company, what is the likelihood that this company will still be around in the next 30 years? Because, you know, you want to invest and hopefully you want to be able to, you know, use the money in the future to sustain yourself, or you want to pass it on to the next generation, teach them how to invest, and hopefully they can pass it on to the next generation. You know, you want to think about a company 30 years from now. Is the company still going to be around? What's the likelihood that the company will still survive whatever is going on today? What's the likelihood that they're going to be around? Those are the things that I always like to look at. And in terms of Facebook, to be honest, first thing I want to look at is their leadership. Facebook has good leadership. Is founders led, and companies that are founders led, they're usually, you know, very good companies. They've turned around and they've turned investors into multi-millionaires. You know, the other thing that is also very important is Moats. You know, I talked about that in my last video. I'll leave the link up for you to check out. Company has to have good moats. What's the barrier for other companies to come into their business and take over their business? The likelihood that other companies will come in and take over Facebook business is pretty much very slim. I showed you guys this earlier. Just because of this, daily active users, okay, they have almost 2 billion people. 2 billion people that use the company's product on a regular basis, whether that's Instagram, whether that's WhatsApp, whether that's Oculus, whether that's all the product that they have, you know, Facebook itself, Facebook Marketplace. You have all these things that they have going on. That is a huge moat. It's hard for other companies to come in and do the things that Facebook is doing. If there's something hot and new that looks like wants to take Facebook's place, Facebook will quickly copy it, pull like a ton of people on it, they'll work on it, they'll quickly copy it. We saw that with TikTok. Facebook came out with Reels, and they're just gonna keep on doing that. That gives them a huge moat. Okay, The other thing is also evaluation. What are the evaluation of the company? And as of right now, it's certainly lower. It's certainly lower than it was before. This is for sure. You know, the evaluation is lower than what it was, you know, earlier on in September, you know. And either ways, if it drops down some more, it will still be great because this company has a huge moat, and over time they will be quite successful. So these are all the things that I look at when I do my research. You know, some of the other things that I look at is what are the fundamentals of the company. You know, you look at the numbers. You know, it's very important to look at the numbers. When it comes to some companies, you know, it don't make sense to really look at the numbers until they mature out. For me, anyways, this is just my opinion. And the other thing that is also important to look at is the growth. What is the growth perspective of the company? What is the likelihood that they are going to grow from wherever they are today and they're going to become bigger? And for a company like Facebook, it's only going to get bigger just because they are the leader at what they do. I always talk about companies that are the leaders at what they do. It's going to be difficult for another company to come and be Facebook. Not that it can't happen. You know, you never can tell. You never can tell with this thing. It can happen, but the likelihood that another company is going to come and be Facebook with almost 2 billion users every day is very slim. You know, and you know, think about the things that Facebook do to small businesses. Right now, I can put advertising on Facebook about my YouTube channel to push it out there even more, and it will cost me maybe $10 every day or so, or $5 a day. It's very cheap to advertise on Facebook, and you know, it push out your whatever it is that you're trying to advertise. They know what people want to see. You get your information in front of the people that want to see it. You know, they have this algorithm. This is a huge moat. You know, there's just so many things that's going on for Facebook that at this point, I cannot resist jumping in and buying into Facebook here. So now, before we close out the video, I want to share with you what my current holdings are on Facebook. I'm literally just starting to build and holding in Facebook. So this is my current Facebook stock holdings. I just started building my stock holding with Facebook, and this is what I like to do. I've done videos like this before. Same thing with Virgin Galactic, same thing with Tesla. When I have a company that I've done, you know, pretty decent amount of research into, I like to just present it as a case and make it into a video and share with you guys my thoughts and opinion on those companies. So what I'm going to be doing with Facebook, I'm going to be probably putting in about like $100 every day, roughly until the company gets back to where it should be, right up here, which would be roughly around $380. Or if it drops some more, then I'll probably increase that to like maybe $150 every day until I get like maybe $1,000 or $2,000 in there. And who knows, when the company goes back to where it should be, when all this stuff dies down, when all this news dies down, then, you know, I can double my money and then take that money off the table, take my initial amount off the table and just leave the profit and just let the profit ride. So this is my current holdings. I'm as transparent as can be. This is my current holdings. The company is roughly worth $926 billion in net worth, market cap. And yeah, this is what it is. And we'll see a ton of news coming out. We're going to be seeing it. You know, news will be coming out left and right when it comes to this thing. Like I said earlier on, this is just a scandal. Scandals come, scandals go. What stays with companies are their profits, their earning power. When it comes to the investment side of a company anyways, profits, earning power, and their moats, you know, those are the things that are very, very, very important. And obviously valuation, growth of the company and all these things. So that is pretty much it. This is my case for Facebook, why Facebook is a buy. What do you think? Comment down below. Share your thoughts with me. This is why I have this channel. I'm trying to have a public discourse with my opinions. You know, I can pick up with things from you guys, so share it down below. I definitely would appreciate it. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, comment down below. Share your thoughts and opinion below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, stay tuned. See you later. Love you all. Bye.
The Wizard.